guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be modeling the second part of the CCTV camera. So if you haven't watched the first part, you can just check the channel. You see the modeling of the first parts of the camera. So today we're just gonna jump into the second part. So that's enough being said. Let's jump in. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is select this. Okay, I like the topology here. Actually, everything looks really well placed. So let's go to our mesh option. Go to circle. Want to use circle to make the lens, the black lens. So let's tap in RX90, and then we want to scale it that much and raise it up to fit there. Want to use this circle to model. Oh, I forgot to turn off the snapping tool. Control Z twice, three times actually, to undo everything, and turn off the Shift A. Go to mesh option, circle, and turn off the snapping. RX90. Go to your scale it really big and go to your front view like that, and then we want to place it roughly in that cavity, that circle. So let's apply the scale and the rotation because we scaled this in object mode. If you scale anything in object mode, don't forget to apply the scale and the rotation. So what we want to do now is place it like this and bring it GY out like about this much, and then we want to go out to rotate it and just try to place it there so it can sit there comfortably. So sitting there like that. So let's try to align it with that cavity. Let's do our best to align it with the cavity. Something like this should be fine, but we're gonna scale it on the Z axis at some point. Scale SZ to scale it on the Z axis. That's too much. Bring it down. Yeah, something like that. But let's just scale everything in a little bit. It's not gonna align properly with the geometry, with the mesh rather. If you look at it, there's still holes. So let's just delete it and just use the existing geometry to form that circle. So let's just go Shift Alt, select the inner vert, and go Shift D on in our right orthographic view. Shift D Y and move it out like that. P and separate by selection. You want to look at it from the right view. Tap out, select it, tap in, and select it. Select everything, and then we want to go G and move it like about that much. And then from the right view, we want to go G Y and bring it in like that. We just want it to sit there perfectly. We don't want extra space. Even if there is an extra space, it has to be an even space from every angle, not big space from the top or from the bottom. So let's just scale it in like that. Something like this should be fine. Let's look at our reference again. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere with this. Now, if you look at the reference very well, you find out that there are a lot of segments on that lens. So in order to get that segment right, what we might do is zoom in really close and in edit mode with everything selected, E to extrude, S to scale, bring it in like that. Then we might need to be going in and out of right view actually to be able to extrude it backwards. We've got to extrude it now, extrude backwards like that. We can't press Y because it's just going to go straight, and that's not what we want. So come back to the front view and adjust it properly. G, when you press G, you can adjust it like that, something like that. I want to do the same procedure over and over again. So let's go. E to extrude S to scale to get our segment. Go to your right view in wireframe so we can see what we're doing. So you extrude it in a little bit, something like that should be fine. I'm gonna go to the front view and correct it by pressing G and then trying to align it properly. And then we want to go E to extrude, S to scale, in like that. You guys get the idea. We're just trying to make that little bit of extra detail that comes with the lens, that black part. That's what we're just trying to do here. So we're gonna extrude it in like that again, and then come to the front view. And I want to go G and try to align it properly, so we don't miss it. So I might want to go one more time into extrude S to scale, something like that. And in your front view, go to your wireframe and then E to extrude and then move it out like that. So go to your front view and align it properly. Wanna go G and just try to align it properly. Something like that should be fine. Then what we want to do again is E to extrude S to scale, and then we want to. I think that should be almost enough. But let's just add one more. Extrude it in like that. Go to your front view and try to align it properly. You can do as much as you want because the segments there are quite plenty. There's a lot of segments there. I just wanted you guys to get the whole idea of making that extra segments and so this much should be enough because if you look at the reference, there's a whole bunch of segments there before the lens glass. There's a whole bunch of segments there which might take a whole lot of time to cover. So I'm just gonna go with about the amount I have done so far. But if you look at it very well, you see these little extra details. We're not gonna be adding those ones, uh, just not to mess up the topology that we already have. But you guys can go ahead and add that. It's not hard. It's just selecting an edge, beveling it, and maybe deleting it. Yeah, so you can get that little bit of extra detail. But this is what I'm gonna go with. So what we want to do now is in your right view, you want to go E to extrude one more time, something like this. Front view, try to align it properly, something like that. And then you want to go E to extrude S to scale, something like that. And we want to add one more. Want to extrude this out a little bit, something like this. Should be fine. Then we want to go G and try to align it properly. And after that, we want to go E to extrude S to scale, like about this much. So this should do, yeah. If you look at it from afar, it looks like what we want it to look like, which is quite what we want. So looking at it from a wireframe view, it looks good. So we want to fill this in, right? Because we're going to be using this part as the lens glass. It's gonna be the glass material. So we're gonna have to fill it. But before we do that, let me see. One, two, three. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with the screen. Sorry. Okay, so before we do that, we want to looking at this. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. F to fill. Okay. So we want to fill that and then P and separate by selection. So we have a separate mesh for the glass material, so we can give it its own material later. We just select everything and then insert it. I think. or we can extrude it first. So give it a little bit of thickness so we can see the glass very well. Something like this should be fine. What do we want to do next? We want to um, okay. That's it, guys. That's almost everything we need to do about the lens, less for the fact that we have to insert it a little bit. So when we apply subdivision surface modifier on it, it'll make it look better. So that is how to model the lens part of the CCTV camera. And that brings us to the end of the CCTV camera modeling part 2. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for supporting the channel and watching. I'm going